Hi, everybody. Welcome, and welcome. Welcome to another episode of the theme that we're talking about, meaning of life, and the topic, relatability. Hi, so, relatability. That's like 4 count. 4 syllables. It's really kind of like chill music. Yeah. Relatability, okay. Relatable to me and relatable to you. It's like it's something that nothing gonna come true. Yet it does all the time. Well, thank you very much for being you and all that good stuff. Well, welcome to, the topic of responsibility, or relatability. It's kind of like a responsibility to be relatable, in a sense, right? In and of itself, there's a point where if you want some communication to happen, which means everyone knows what you're talking about in that kind of means of communication, which would be relatability, right? So, in and of itself, relatability is something that is a constant in everyone's life, in life itself. See, life is relatable to you because you are life. You have life. You are here now. Meaning you can do something without having to possess gratitude. With using gratitude, right? In a sense, at least if you want to be healthy about it, you want to use gratitude. You want to go forth and have that kind of dynamic of love. Because, what is the most relatable thing that there can be? Isn't it love? Sometimes love is seen as something that is done as a hateful action. Hateful means upon itself, right? And so some would call that not love. Some would call that abuse, right? And so in that abuse, that is still love, though. That is how they were taught in of itself to love, to give attention. That's what it comes down to, the relatability of love and giving love, right? What is the relatability of giving love when you're never taught what love really is? You never had that aspect, and so you know about it, so yet you were never taught past, potentially, you learned how to swim, but then, there was a point where you were asked to write the book because you have like a child or offspring, and that offspring per se, or we can even go simpler, a student, right? You have a student, and that student, as you being the teacher, would in of itself have to be able to be relatable so that somehow that student and that teacher can commingle. Because the teacher only appears when the student is ready for the teacher or ready for the lesson, then the teacher appears. And so, in and of itself, you have responsibility, to be relatable. Now, yes, that is the scenario of a student and teacher, yet going back to communication, right, of how communication is one of the elements of relatability, or relatability is one of the elements of communication, one of the factors, one of the base core means of being able to say and do things in a faster pace. Like, you could say 50 words, right? Yet you're only able to say like 5, because you only have a second to do something, to say it. You only have like 2 seconds, and you have a total of 5 seconds to get it done, right? But that was already the 2 seconds, and now you only have 3 seconds to get it done early, because you only had 5 seconds to do the whole thing. So, sometimes you can't say 50 words to mean the same thing. Sometimes you have to use the bigger words. The more, to bring more of a continuity and an interface that is upon itself relatable to your audience, right? Sometimes that's what it's about. That's what really television does, or at least they attempt to and act like it, because, it does have programming with it. So I'm just saying, does come with the whole programming aspect to it. I'm just saying. So anywho, there's gratitude in everything, right? What is the gratitude of relatability, though, right? What is that? What is the meaning of life with relatability? So that means I wonder if there's a law of relatability. Let's find out. Let me see. Shall we do it? And why, yes. And yes, there is a law of relatability. In fact, it says here it is the eighth law, and the sum is everything is neutral, everything is relative. So, how intriguing is that? I'll make sure that I post this to, today's page. And you can read it for yourself. Yet this is the first thing that I'll read. The law of relatability assert that everything is neutral, everything is relative, and that it is us who attaches meaning and emotions to the experience. See right there, that's usually, that's what I've attempted to say all along. Every closed session of life in this journey upon this recording, do I say that, everyone has their own meaning to it. Everyone, that's the one thing I can honestly say that is relatable to everyone. That you are the one that attaches meaning and emotion to the experience, whatever it may be, and it is not bad or good from that retrospection, from that actuality of the real world. No economics. There is society and the earth. In a sense, right? Well, okay, let's look up what society can be then. Let's see. Okay, so society is from the 1530s. Companionship, friendly association with others, company, 12th century, modern French, from Latin, fellowship, association, allegiance, union, company, companion, ally, from a root, SEKW, to follow, meaning group. 14, our club and club is from 1540s, originally associated with persons for some specific purpose, meaning people bonded by neighborhood or intercourse, aware of living together in an ordered community, is from 1630s, so about 100 years. And a sense of the more cultivated part of any community, first recorded 1823, hence fashionable people and their dogs. The Society Islands were named 1769 by Cook on his third Pacific voyage in honor of the Royal Society, which financed his travels across the world to observe the transit of Venice. So yes, in and of itself, the world is a society because it has the companionship, it's a friendly association with others. See, it's not supposed to be like a competition, it's supposed to be a friendly association with others, a society, at least. The beginning of society is a noun. And, well, that's why it's relatable. It's society was built on relatability in and of itself, that everyone has a purpose to contribute to the society. Yet, these days, I would say the relatability of doing it like we used to do it is kind of silly these days, especially when, if there is free energy out there, and there is, it's just one thing after another of just the relatability of doing it the same way, the comfortability. I guess that's some human psyche right there, where humans per se don't like the new. They don't. I wonder what that's called. Let's look that up. Let's see. Xenophobia is a fear of the unknown. Which is kind of funny, Zen. But yeah. So what is the etymology of reliability? Let's find out. Okay, so reliability is a noun. State or quality of being reliable, 1860. And then reliable means that may be relied on, fit to be developed, dependent on, trustworthy. And then you can go even further and go to relay, to gather, assemble an army, followers, a host. And then if you go to ity, I-T-Y, it's a word forming element, making abstract nouns form adjectives and meaning, condition or quality of being. Yep. So that's pretty much to what reliability means. To come together and all that kind of stuff, to be reliable. To be depended upon and a regular thing and normal, in a sense. Well, I would correspond the ability to, know thyself, right? Along this journey of the meaning of life, one must question the relatability of what is normal society. Okay, so what is normal? Let's look at that. So normal as an adjective is typical, common. And I looked up common. 13th century, belonging to all, owned or used jointly, general or public, nature or character. Common, general, free, open, and public. Let's see, where did I read that at? Oh yeah, I read in the common law. And then, just for giggles, I looked up common law, and it's mid-14th century. The customary or unwritten laws of England as embodied in centuries and old cases. See common. Opposed to statute law. Phrase common law marriage is associated from 1909. Common adjective belonging to, owned, and used generally. In common as a noun, a fellowship or brotherhood is from 13th century. Early 14th century people of the common community or town, freemen, citizenry. Late 1500, land held in common. Common general served as a noun meaning common property, state, commonwealth. Okay, in commonwealth as a noun, mid-15th century, commonwealth, community, whole body of people in a state. Or common adjective, wealth, especially state with a republican or democratic form of government. From 1610, from 1550, as anybody of persons united by some common interest, applicable especially to the government of England in the period of 1649 through 1660, and later to self-governing former colonies under the British Crown. 1917 in the U.S. it forms a part of the official name of Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Virginia, Kentucky, and Puerto Rico. That is not social specifics. Let's say, in a sense, that relatability is in alignment of suggesting suggesting that there's this theory in life, and yet this theory can be called a common thought, right? A common thought is, it's probably in and of itself right there in common when I looked that up. I'm just saying, there's a point of saying meaning of life is wonderful, right? Today, I want to dive deep into what does it mean to be relatable? From everything that we have come to, what does it mean to be relatable? And how does that have any effect on the way that you are in a formation of what it is to be reliability? To me, in the economic standpoint, that's what makes a permanent employee, right? Or, a permanent 9 to 5 at least. Or whatever, is clever. Yet, relatability is something gratitude is something that, everyone in of its sense, it's the key to the door. And it's pretty much the commonality of what is not a suggestion as a common thought. It is a common sense formation of what is common sense of that time. In some moments, there are those that, like Albert Einstein, no, he wasn't shunned, but whoever said the earth was round was shunned for a while until that common thought in that society, or that common sense in that society swayed to the common thought, and then in of that common thought created the opening for that new common sense of saying that the world is round. Now, if you take science for instance, and they say that what you focus on is what you get. So, if we're all focusing on something, then that's what it's going to become. Or, in the retrospection of spirituality, in the relatability of your spirituality, everything's possible and everything's happening at the same time. Simply, simultaneously, one thing is happening at the same time. So that means, the relatability of it being already being your going with that experience and that timeline, because it's already happening. It's that's kind of what creates a past and a future right there. When you jump timelines, you create a new past and a new future. Yet, the relatability of, approaching things as a loving retrospect instead of as a hating retrospect, you will be able to change it more and be more relatable. Because nothing understands anger. And if you want to say you're nothing, then that might mean that you're just so willing to be something that you're not. And yet, that doesn't mean anything will be wanting to be you. So you will really be within the law, the universal law of relatability. You know, as it says here in this one thing that I've looked up, you know, well, let's see what it says. It says, everything is neutral. Everything is relative. Oh, does that say relativity in that? Gosh. I guess there is no universal law of relatability. Well, no, actually, that's what relativity is. So it's the same thing, it's just whatever. Words, you be mysteriously something. Yeah, anywho. So, relativity. Everything is neutral. Everything is relative. It is who attaches meaning and emotion to the experience. Makes it, well, relatability to relative. So everything is relative. You know, and everything is relatable. You know. So in of itself, what do you think it means to be relatable? Relatability. The act, I guess, you know, have I been talking about the relatable and not relatability the whole time? I don't know, but this is what it is today. And what a beautiful day it is today. So overall, you know, my biggest takeaway from the meaning of life is that it's different for everybody. Yet there are these relatability to it. Is it because we all are living life and that's what makes it relative? Or is it because life is neutral and everything else is neutral and nothing's really bad or good, and that's how we're all relative? Yet, what would relative perception be then? I wonder. Yeah, anywho. Just want to say though, you know, keep being you. Thank you for being you and being relatively reliability. Sheesh, words are so hallucinatory. But anyhow, so, you know, just go forth and find your meaning in life. You know, you can do this yourself. You can look up things and find it yourself too. Or yet, you can stick with me along this journey that we're on of life together. And we shall find the deeper truths in life of what is the meaning of life and all that it encompasses in all its retrospections, and it's a fractal. And today we discover the fractal a little bit more of relatability. Hopefully it was relatable to you in and of itself. Yet, of course, if you're looking for the meaning of life, then it speaks volumes on what makes it this relatable to the relatability of everything, of life, of, you know, I'm able to live life and do this, and it's my enjoyment, and I'm living in the now moment. You know, that's kind of what the reliability is the now moment. It's the constant. It's what keeps the ball rolling. It's inertia, it's hope, it's desire, and it's the ever ongoing battle between this common sense of this common thought, of the elusiveness of the unknown, of this battle of this good and evil that is going upon this world, of this earth-bound experience upon the self of life. Yet, or is it? What does science teach us, in a sense? It teaches that if you focus on something, you shall find it. And I guess that's my biggest takeaway from science. And yet, like I said, the meaning of life, my biggest takeaway is that it's different for everybody else. And yet somehow we're all relatable. The relatability is, common. It's our common sense. It's our common thought, even at times. And it's how we communicate. Well, overall, I would say at the closing of this that words are the biggest communicational way that we communicate. I guess not, there's body language. I don't know. I guess that's a topic for another day. But anywho, everyone have a beautiful one. And thank you for making the time today. Aloha.